What is an organization? An organization is a group of people who work together in an organized way for a shared purpose. What is organizational behavior? Organizational behavior is the individual performance and activity within an organization. OB examines human behavior in a work environment and determines its impact on job structure, performance, communication, motivation, leadership, etc. We will take Takif organization as an example. 1. 800 employees. 2. Company operating in UAE. 3. 50 years in the business. Suzanne, Chief People and Capability Officer in Takif, is concerned about poor leadership skills that are promoting toxic environment and affecting business. How can a toxic environment lead a company to lose its business from Suzanne's point of view?
So in a toxic environment, leaders are less empowered, employees are weakened, feel unfairly treated because maybe there is preferential treatment to some people, don't feel engaged, passion. Integrity might be a question of leaders but also of employees. Trust is broken, and all this is leading to less engagement in daily work, on projects, on engagement with others, less communication, negative talks, and the lack of engagement will lead to less reduced performance. And the reduced performance will lead to a company that might lose its business one day.
How can poor leadership skills affect business, and what are the solutions?
Poor leadership can be from seen from many angles. In general, poor leadership for me is a leader that is not visible, for example, not often at his place, not accessible. Door is closed, every time an employee wants to talk to him or her, there is no chance to get that important talk. It's a leader who does not empower, is a leader that is maybe afraid himself or herself to take decisions, is a leader that will not motivate people to work together, is a leader that can eventually treat employees different manners according to his preferences. Consequently, the impact is huge on the team and on work, and people start working for their own sake instead of the sake of the company. How to deal with a poor leader? Sometimes you have just to change the leader and to have the right leader at the right place, and it's painful, but this is the ultimate solution. Meanwhile, you can give leadership training, you can have a personal executive coach, you can attend, and you can have a mentor, a more senior leader that mentors you. Training are of different sorts, and not all of them are effective, but we can also tackle some weaknesses in the leadership directly instead of doing some general leadership training, which are sometimes not very effective.
Suzanne hired Katja, executive coach, to support leaders implement healthy culture and motivate employees. Katja has extensive experience with private and governmental entities in UAE. What affects organizational behavior from Katja's point of view?
There are a lot of factors that affect organizational behaviors. One major factor is that organizations do not see the importance of common values. When we talk values, we can change behaviors. when we have common values that are predefined and understood by all the leaders and the employees, we can change organizational behaviors. Three of the main common values that organizations can progress, and executive coaches help organizations to do that, is respect, trust, and the sense of purpose.
How can a successful leader benefit from the different traits and personalities in his team in order to achieve goals?
A successful leader knows how to utilize the differences in their team members. Differences in personalities, differences in traits. The worst thing a leader would do is when they are interviewing a new candidate, a new team member, and choose people who are copy-paste of who they are as leaders. Because this shows a bit of, can suggest a bit of insecurity from the leader, and that if the people in his team or her team are not like them, then they are considered a threat. Knowing the differences will make the best out of the team, from strength, from skills, from personalities. Who can do what? A person in the team who can motivate others can get the job done. A person in the team who is focused can set a vision and goals. A person in the team who is analytical and can provide data and facts will provide the right platform and context for delivering. A person who is caring and wanting everyone to grow will follow up on the people's development. So this is the beauty of knowing the beautiful traits in people and celebrating it rather than fearing it.
How can leaders motivate their team in order to get the best out of them?
As an executive coach, I have a chance to coach many leaders in the UAE, from government sector to public companies to private organizations. And there are similar traits of how leaders choose to motivate their employees and their teams. I have to say the culture in the Middle East comes from a more authoritative, hierarchical, motivational space, which can hinder the progression of the people. So instead of going and telling an employee, you've done a great job in that project, be specific about what the person has done, what went right, and what can they do better, and provide them with the support that they need to do better. The leader would choose to say, it was good, but I think you can do better. I expect that you will find a way of solving it in a different way. You should have done it that way. Why didn't you ask? Why didn't you do this? The language itself, the words that we choose, make a big difference. This is number one in motivation. Number two in motivation, do I want to focus on the strength of the person, or do I want to corner them with their weaknesses? How about finding the right motivational factors and drivers for people and feeding that instead of taking them in a completely different path that they don't enjoy and they're not good at, and insisting that they should follow that path. Instead of focusing on weaknesses and what they need to develop, why don't I focus on the strength and magnify it so that the ripple effect is more?
What are the main motivation elements for Taqif's team today?
I think we should talk about the social responsibility.
Yes,
Especially, yes.
In 2019, we've all been a part of I Matter. I think it was impressive this year.
When we talk about the social responsibility, we conducted the cricket event. One of our employee who came and hugged me, and he said, this is the first time we feel that we have someone with us.
I will talk about empowerment. Empowerment in Taqif. They support employees, they motivate employees, rewards employees. They allow employees to take their own decision to grow in their personal and professional life. As everybody knows, Ramco, new project, company has given me a power to take my own decision where I can discuss with the employees and give them explanation what is that and how it's worked.
I'm gonna talk about passion for excellence because I think I really resonate with it. I think I can talk more about it. I am the continuous improvement engineer at the Cave. For me, it's really about bringing improvements, as the name suggests. Our work is mostly just projects. We completed most of our improvement projects by looking at all areas of improvements. We're not just tackling the symptoms, we're tackling every other area there is. I am trying to bring changes all over the company.
You are among family here. Everybody's got your back. Whether it's a manager or a chief operating officer, they will support you and trust you to do your job the best way you can.
There was a beautiful experiment that was done on 2 plants. So they put two similar plants in 2 different rooms. Every room had exactly the same physical environment. The same sunlight comes at the same time of the day. The water is given at the same time of the day, and they are the same seeds growing in the same pots, in the same soil. The only different element was the owner of the plant would walk into one room and tell that plant, talk to that plant and tell her, you're beautiful, you're growing, your colors are magnificent, you are a miracle in the world. And then he'll go to the other room, to the other plant, and say, you're not growing as you should, your colors are very pale, I will cut you, you are useless. In a few months, with the same conditions of growing, the plant that was given negative feedback died, while the plant that was given motivation and positive words grew to be bigger. Does that tell you anything?